What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and today we're doing an unboxing and review of the Nerf Modulus Regulator. This box is massive, guys. Alright, I'm going to do my best to keep this in frame. It is very, very large. Anyway, this thing comes with a ton of accessories, guys. I mean, you get a lot for the $50 MSRP that this is supposed to go for. Now, I paid a little bit more for this to get it early from Canada, but I want to give a big shout out to Buff Daddy Nerf, who picked this up for me and brought it down during our last war, so I really appreciate that. And now I get to unbox it and review it for you guys, so pretty exciting stuff. So it has select fire, guys. That is what this thing is doing that just is never been done before by Nerf. So it's really, really cool that they've added that feature. And so you have a full auto mode, a burst fire mode, and a single shot mode. So that's really, really cool. And I can't wait to try this out. It comes with a stock multiple barrel / scope accessories, if I'm not mistaken. This weird handle accessory thing that we'll figure out what exactly that does. And it comes with, I believe, two 12-round magazines. And obviously, probably 24 darts in my... Yep, 24 darts, so that's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the box. So as you can see here, it's talking about the select fire, which makes this thing so awesome. You can turn it into a sniper. You can do so many cool things with this that it's a really good value. And the other thing that's really neat about this is it has a light that blinks that tells you when you're out of ammo and when you need to reload your magazine. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. I mean, we don't need to talk about it too much. All right, let's go. Alright guys, so this is the main blaster. It's got some new things going on. We've changed to blue now. They keep seeming to change the color of the Modulus line. It's always white and orange, and then either like different, they've had two different types of green, and now they've gone to blue. So I don't know if they're just trying out different colors or if they're going to be switching them up. Maybe we'll get a red stripe next. Who knows? Nevertheless, it's a cool looking paint scheme. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the functionality of the blaster. So the grip is actually very comfortable in my opinion. Even with all this going on here, it's pretty comfortable. The only thing I will note is the mag release here is very, very close to the trigger. If it's somebody with fatter fingers than me, because I have actually pretty thin fingers, even though I have pretty large hands, it could be pretty tight. And even there, that's something that I would definitely have to get used to. I'm not saying it's necessarily a negative. It actually could be a positive to be able to be that close and release your magazine. This is your switch to regulate your darts. So this would be single fire. The middle is the burst fire, and then the top, oh, I went past it. The middle is the burst fire, and then the top is the full auto. So pretty cool there. Like I said, on top here is the light that turns on when you're out of darts. This is your jam door, but it also is what is your dart pusher, just like the Hyperfire. Has a belt here, and that actually moves and pushes your darts. So it has two tabs, and those push your darts into the flywheel. So that's pretty cool. So you definitely have to have that closed and locked to work the blaster. So that's very important. So the other thing that's really cool is how this actually works and knows how to burst fire or single fire. Is it has a beam that actually detects when a dart goes through. So it knows when one dart goes through and when to stop. It knows when 3 darts go through and when to stop. And it knows when to not stop. So that's really cool. And that's how it also knows when you're out of darts, because it can count those and it will know when you've shot all 12, and then this will light up. So let me talk about some of the things that are really strange with this blaster. First off, this grip right here is usually where we're used to having our magwell. And our magwell is really far forward here. So you definitely are going to have to get used to loading your blaster up here, because most blasters have the magazine well right front of the grip area. So that is really strange that they have this so far forward. Now I'm assuming it's because of how everything works. They wanted the batteries in the back, and they wanted less barrel length for better performance, because if you have a longer barrel, your dart's going to hit around in there, and it's not the best, especially when you're adding on attachments. That's going to lengthen the barrel anyway. So if this was back here, they had to move the batteries up here, and it would be similar to like a rapid strike kind of a formation, I guess. You do have a tactical rail on top here, which is neat, and you have a tactical rail underneath here. So you could put a foregrip down there if you so choose, although it probably would be pretty tight with the magazine right there, which is also one reason why it's strange to have the magazine so far forward. You really can't do any sort of foregrip like this. You kind of have to hold it like this and up high to make it comfortable, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and throw a couple attachments on here. So the stock, throw that on the back here. The stock is a little short, in my opinion, but it's pretty standard length for Nerf stuff, and it's not terrible, honestly. The only thing that is a little bit is a hindrance to me is when you have a magazine in here, your wrist kind of hits it, and makes it a little bit hard to grip, but it's definitely not the end of the world. But yeah, this stock holds obviously your magazine, and then this attachment actually will fit in right there. So that is really cool, and I really like that, and that's just really neat in my opinion that it gives you a place to put that. One thing that I forgot to mention is you do have sling points right here and right here, so you can easily run a 2-point sling, a 1-point sling, and I think those are great placements for sling points, and I give them a lot of props for putting those in good places to actually sling your blaster. So props there. So this scope is your short barrel scope, and it can be put on the front just like this, and then you can also attach another one to it. So this is actually the long barrel scope there, so you can attach that to the front of there, and vice versa with the long barrel you can attach it, so they both have attachments on the back and front. So that's really cool. This can also attach to any tactical rail, so that's pretty cool, and it actually works really well up here. And then you can actually take this out and put this up here. There's just so many things you can do with this. It's really cool. And then actually you can line up and you can sight your target in, because it actually becomes a scope per se. You're just looking through the barrel and you can just line it up, and actually lines up perfectly with the hole here in the, I guess they call this the swivel handle. Definitely fun, I think, for kids to be able to switch these things around and do all kinds of different things with it. That is just awesome. Without further ado, let's fire this thing off a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few shots with the barrel attachments on right here, and maybe we can see the indicator light come on and tell us when we're out of darts and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off just doing single fire. So here we go. This is supposed to shoot one dart, and it did that. So I'm just holding this down and it's shooting one dart. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and switch it to burst fire now and see what happens. Shot 3 darts, 1 trigger pull. 1 trigger pull, 3 darts. That's pretty neat. And we'll go ahead and finish off with full auto, although I don't think I have that many darts left. Yeah, only had 3 darts left anyways. But now this light is flashing, if you can see that. So we'll have that empty magazine, put that aside, and we'll throw in a full one. And there it goes, it's off now. So that's really cool. Alright guys, let's go ahead and test out the range and the FPS of the blaster. I have stripped it all of its accessories so we get the best readings possible with the least amount of barrel. And I'm going to go ahead and put it onto single fire here, which is really neat. And I would like to mention that they do have this select switch on both sides, so if you are left-handed, no worries, it's on this side too, which I think is awesome. So let's go ahead and shoot it off and see what we can get. $65, $67, $67, duplicate $67, $65, duplicate $65, $66, $66. So very, very consistent there between 65 and 67. So I think that's about where our FPS readings are. Maybe a tad bit lower than the norm of the 70 FPS that you get from Elite blasters, but pretty standard. Okay, I have it on single shot, and we're going to see what kind of ranges we get with this. Here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what those are. The shortest one is at 41 feet. The next one's just above it, maybe just short of 42. Then we got one here, 45, just short of 46, 47, and just about 48 feet. So pretty decent range for a flywheeler stock. I'm gonna switch this thing to 3-round burst, and we'll see how that affects ranges. So it did affect ranges some. The shortest one's 26. We have a couple here at 30. We have a few here around the 33, 34 mark. One up here around 35. And then we have the top 4 between about 37 and a half feet to up here about 40, and the longest one just short of 42 feet. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this to full auto and see what we can get. And I do feel like the belt slips sometimes in there. It's very interesting. You can kind of hear it. It's kind of slips, but it still seems to end up working and firing, but just maybe doesn't work right when you pull the trigger, if that makes sense. All right, so full auto, shortest one 24 feet. Then we have another one up here 25, and a bunch here just between 26 and 27, and a bunch here closer between 28 and right at 29 feet, and then a few 32 feet, and the furthest one, which was probably the first shot out, at just short of 37. So definitely affects the ranges there, to be expected though. Okay, I have a Don't Worry Me set of very used darts from our loaner bin from the Naptown Nerf Club, and I wanted to just see how well this thing does with used and worn darts and different types of darts. Let's go ahead and fire these off and just see how well it does. And I'll go ahead and just do it in burst fire just for fun. Seemed to work just fine, pretty good, and it shot all different types of darts, so that is good to know. Okay guys, I think this thing is pretty darn awesome. This thing actually surprised me quite a bit. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think it's a blaster that is going to be very, very popular, and I think it actually has a shot at winning Toy of the Year, to be quite honest. For the average Nerfer, I think they're going to have a ton of fun with something like this. There's just so many things you can do to it. There's so many options. There's so many cool features, like the burst fire, obviously, the scope / barrel attachments, the grip here, which is not my favorite attachment, but still fun and kind of cool looking and unique. I actually really like the stock a lot. I think it's cool that you can store this in here, and it stores a magazine, and it's actually very sturdy and one of the better stocks I think Nerf has come out with in a while. It's a bit short, but honestly, for this blaster, I like it a lot. I think the length is really nice. The grip is very comfortable. Like I said, I just think it's top notch. I really like how they decided to paint blue on both sides of the blaster. Now, I wish they would have gone ahead and done the black on top of the regulator here, excuse me. But other than that, I think it's pretty darn good. The belt mechanism worked much, much better than I thought it would. It fired all kinds of different darts and worn darts without any issue, at least for my testing. Like I said, it needs to go to a war and be heavily tested, and I'm sure it will skip every now and then. I could hear it kind of spinning or something sometimes, but it always still fired the darts. The select fire mechanism worked flawlessly in my testing, so very, very happy with the blaster, and I would definitely recommend it. For 50 bucks, I think this is a great, great deal, and honestly, I think this is definitely a better deal than the Nemesis. Now, the Nemesis is an awesome blaster, but honestly, I think a lot of kids are actually probably going to enjoy this blaster more than the Nemesis, and that's just my opinion. I think the Nemesis is going to be more popular among older players, but I think this is right there with it and can be modded to be pretty darn good, in my opinion. We will see. Time will tell on that. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check out some of my other videos. Will be linked at the end of the video. And as always, peace out.